Hello, hello, hello. This is stuck in my mouth. Hello?
Better than that being a stick in the mud.
Welcome to Lighting the Way, a Granny Raps and Rocks. I am Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks, your host.
Yes, and I'm James Maynard, otherwise known as the Songbird, and I'll be handling the chat tonight. So please chat with us. I'll pass it on to Beth. She can talk to you directly.
Indeed. So, but I can only do that if you're here live. Otherwise, I will respond to your messages afterwards.
Yeah.
So chat away, and I will respond when I get the message.
Very good.
Okay, so tonight I'm going to talk about what is the name of how would you call it? What happens after happily ever after?
Right.
And see, this is a topic that kind of makes me laugh because we all know that it isn't true, but we always hope that it will be true.
That's true.
Right? I mean, if I watch a movie or something like that, what do I hope for? A happy ending. I never want to see a tragedy. In fact, I won't even watch a drama anymore. Too old for that. I have enough pain in my life. Anyway, and I want
And drama.
enough drama too. And so I want happily ever after. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about what happens after you reach that happily ever after. And it's not just about relationships, it can be an election, it can be a job, it can be life itself. So here we go.
And by the way, we have a big hello from Catalina, and it's from her Aunt Lizzie. Hugs and kisses, hugs and kisses. Same back at you.
Hugs and kisses to you. You know all about happily ever after, right? Okay, so first we tell people that we broadcast every Wednesday night at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, and that's our Lighting the Way, Granny Raps and Rock show. Okay.
That's right.
I wonder how many of you feel the same way that I do, that you really want a happy ending. You want the guy who is paralyzed to be able to stand up and walk again. You know, you want the guy and the girl, or the guy and the guy, or the girl and the girl, or the them and the them, or whatever it is, to find one another and get over whatever it is gets in the way and find that happy relationship that they're looking for, right?
Absolutely.
So now what really happens in real life? What happens in real life is that the microphone gets stuck in your mouth. and that's much more like it. Anyway, here it is. See, the point in the drama before you reach that resolution is full of struggle, right?
Oh, yeah.
The guy is with another guy or another woman, or the woman has been abused and she can't face another disaster, whatever it is. And they go back and forth, and they go forth and back and forth and then finally something happens and they both realize that they're in love, right?
And now Tracy says hello and sends a big heart of love.
Hello, Tracy.
Back at you, Tracy.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. So at that point, there is a sense of resolution. You know, we like resolution. I do. It's like, okay, they've gone through so much struggle. You know, it's so difficult and so painful. And then there they are, and now they finally are going to let themselves be happy by going off into the sunset together.
And we hope it will last.
Well,
But how long will it?
probably let's say they get married.
Right.
On the wedding day, how many things did go wrong? Or what about the mother-in-law? Or, the champagne brunch was messed up because they brought the champagne to the wrong place, or whatever it is. And what we discover, right, is that all the struggle that we went through to get where we wanted to go continues almost exactly the same way after we get where we're going. Now, I'll give you an example. We recently had a big election in the United States. And once the dust settles and you say, okay, this one won, that one lost, so now do you think it's time to govern? Nah. What are they doing? They're already running for the next election.
That's right.
So all the struggle they went through to get elected continues. It's like they're already reading the polls. They haven't done it. They haven't even taken office yet. And this one is vowing to defeat them in 2024. And these guys are threatening all kinds of investigations. And nobody is talking about the problems. Nobody's doing anything. But it's the same race. They're still running for office.
And trying to make the other guys look bad.
Absolutely. And it's the same stress. I couldn't stand it, frankly. I don't know how they can take it. And there's somebody who wants to shoot them. And one governor she wasn't elected governor. She's already making physical threats of harm to the person who did win the election by a small margin. I mean, so it just never ends, right? So it isn't just an election. You can say, well, that's not me. I don't do that, right? I'm not going to do that. Never, not me. Well.
Oh, we certainly don't engage in power struggles with our opposite other.
Oh, no, we certainly don't. I'm going to get to that in a minute. But let's say we talk about a job. So you finally get the job that you want. And there's somebody right after you who wants that job and wants to take it away from you. I mean, even if there isn't someone immediately there, we have another hi.
Todd says, hi there. Well, hi there, Todd.
Hi there, Todd. So then there's this other person, maybe, but even if there isn't another person, you already know that somebody is going to come gunning for you, or somebody is watching you. Okay, you've been hired, but the third in command wasn't sure that you were the right person, and they're looking to make sure that they can find something on you to get rid of you. Or the earnings reports get messed up and somehow somebody finds a way to blame you, even though all you are is the janitor and you have absolutely nothing to do with the earnings report. So, right? Or there's 6 other vice presidents who want to jump over you, right?
Yeah.
Well, so what's happening? You're still applying for your job. Now, do you see what I'm saying? I'm saying that once you have run for office and you have achieved this great thing and you've been elected, you're still running for office. Meaning you never stop doing the same thing that you think happily ever after is going to bring to a close. So whether it's a job, or I'll get into some other examples of what exactly I mean by this, or you've run for office, or, okay, your child has been taking drugs, hard drugs, for 7 years, and you've put them through 17 recovery programs, and you've mortgaged your home and all of that, and they finally get sober. It's like, yay! Yay! And what do? Keep watching them. to see if they're slipping, if they're going backwards. Oh, I don't think they should be in that relationship, or, I think they should do this, or because I'm so worried that they're going to get hooked again. Oh, they shouldn't walk in that neighborhood. They shouldn't have those friends, as you're still the same kinds of anxiety that you had before. So you're still watching. Or if it's not them, then it's the younger brother or sister or someone else or something else that you can get obsessed about. So you're still doing the same thing. Your inner life hasn't changed that much. Now let's talk about the happily ever after in a romantic relationship. So you had a relationship with somebody who was having trouble making commitments, right? And finally they had a spiritual awakening. And they said, "Oh my God, I love you. I love you. I am going to overcome all of the obstacles. Yes, it's true that my father beat me with a hose when I was 2, and I stopped trusting people, or whatever it is that happened to me, or my parents got divorced. But I can overcome all of that because you're so wonderful."
Love conquers all.
Love conquers all, right? So this is the happily ever after that, of course, that I was referring to, the most popular one. And so then we get together, we live together, or we get married, or whatever we do. And guess what? The person who had trouble with commitment is going to likely go into backlash because they just committed. It's like, oh, before I was afraid to commit. Now I've committed. Oh, no. Oh, no. Whatever the fear was that was coming up before, you think it's all going to go away. And so now you're facing the same thing you were before. The guy or the woman or the them or whatever they are they having an affair? Are they withdrawn? Look, we have another pal here.
And Don says he sends 3 hearts of love.
Love it.
Wow,
Hi,
thank
Don.
you,
Haven't
Don.
seen you for a while. We're so happy to have you.
Yeah.
So, you see what I'm saying? So, all of that stuff that you had to deal with before, I mean, I'm not even talking about your own stuff. We'll get to that in a minute. Where you're dealing with someone else's resistance, reluctance, fears, anxieties, commitment phobia, and that they overcame it in that moment. And yes, 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 yeah. You think it's going to go away? You really think it's going to just go away and never show up again? And there you are, and you're dealing with the same thing. Now you're mad. So maybe if you're a politician and you've signed up for the fact that even after you've won the election, you're still out there trying to get people to vote for you. They have to vote for you next time, or they have to keep you in office. They have to not try to impeach you, or maybe you want to go into a higher office. All of that is all there. All that stress is still there. Or maybe you lost. Then you're plotting revenge. Or if you're trying to find some other office, or you're gathering your forces for 2 years from now, or you're finding some other area of life where you can prove yourself, because it's not over. It's not over on the inside. Now, am I saying that nothing ever gets better? No, I'm not saying that. I would rather have a daughter who is sober that I'm worried about than a daughter who is not sober that I'm worried about. So there is a difference. There are things I'd rather have the guy who said, yeah, I'm going to try to overcome my tendency to withdraw, and I'm with you. I'd rather have that than the guy who says, Me? I don't even withdraw. What are you talking about? On our wedding night, I just had business. That's all. So, right?
And if I'm having difficulty overcoming these patterns, I'm willing to process it, work with it, and get help.
So that is better than the opposite, usually.
Well, it's so important because we all need help to overcome our obstacles. And so often we don't have the tools, the resources to get through stuff. And so then we have falling out.
That's right. But you know, there are things that are so painful. For instance, let's say you're married to a child molester and they're abusing your child, and you say, oh, they only did it once, or they only did it twice, or they're in therapy. Are they ever going to do it again? You know, I mean, even when they're trying to get help, people have trouble, you know, really. So I'm not disagreeing with you at all, James, but I'm saying even with that, then there's the constant vigilance. Did Daddy do this to you? Are you okay? You know, looking for the signs. So what I'm saying to you is before and after are essentially the same, because life is always a struggle. Now, what's the solution? Well, I think the solution is twofold. Number one, know that it will never end. And I'm going to give you a statement about that I hope will be helpful. And the other thing is, develop a sense of humor.
Mm.
Now, why do I say that? Well, I want to tell you a phrase that was given to me by whoever talks to me from above. And it was, you better start liking the process, Beth, because that's all there is. Every time you make a transition, even if it is a transition, it's another step to the next transition, because life will always challenge us. You know, you finally get the guy and then he gets cancer. You know, or you do, or you fall and you break your neck, or you have a child who dies, and all of a sudden there's all this antagonism and animosity, and there's always stresses and there's problems, and life is a struggle. I don't care who you are and what you think. Life is a struggle. There's physical issues, you know, you start aging, or the neighborhood, all of a sudden the neighborhood changes, or there's flooding because of climate change, or there's a war and your child is being dragged into it, or, you know, you're innocently sitting in a club and somebody comes in and shoots you. You know, it doesn't end. It doesn't end. So what is the process? It goes back to what you were talking about, James. The process is confronting reality, dealing with it, and growing within so that you can deal with whatever reality hits you. So it isn't the same thing over and over. It really isn't. Not if you're growing, not if you're working on yourself, because then there's always the possibility of the only happy ending which you can even hope for, which is that you get better and better at dealing with the reality and what reality throws at you. And one of those ways is to develop a sense of humor and to realize how ridiculous we all are, and how ridiculous it is to think that our problems are going to go away and that life won't be a struggle anymore, because it always is. So I'd like you to think about what you're hoping will be a happily ever after. You know, you sell your house and you move into another house that you love, and you discover that the roof is leaking and it just didn't show up, or and now you have to pay for it. It's one thing after another, guys, but can you expand your heart and develop consciousness, awareness, and change the way you react to those things? That's possible. And part of that is the sense of irony and humor, where you don't really expect anymore that life is going to be happily ever after, but that you find your joy and satisfaction in how you are evolving and in the love that you develop for yourself as you take on reality.
Oh, there's one more thing I want to add. When you have a problem with the other person that you're in a relationship with, don't let the resentment fester, the anger fester. Bring it to the head, bring it up, discuss it, process it, and if need be, get counseling, get help, so you can get through to the other side. Move
Right.
from breakdown to breakthrough.
That's right. And the other side is a change in our reactions and our responses. So that's all the time we have for tonight. So don't forget, this is Lighting the Way, Granny Raps and Rocks. And I rapped and rocked for you tonight. I hope you enjoyed our show. Please share it, like it, love it, follow our page if you aren't already following it, and share it with other people who might need to hear this message. People who are deluding themselves, people who are resenting life because they really thought there was such a thing as happily ever after, and discover what happiness really is. And don't forget also on Thursday nights at 7, because this is Wednesday nights at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, and Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific time, we do magical improvs where we play music, and you can just sit back and relax, and you can be happily ever after with us on Thursday nights.
And also with Beth Green and the Healing Arts Band.
Exactly. And it's not your fault that things keep going wrong. It's the nature of reality. So I'd like to leave you with one more thought, which is if you think that death is happily ever after, you're mistaken. Now, I don't know what happens after you die, but somehow I know it isn't happily ever after. Either there is nothing, or it's like, there you are. See, just envisage this. You see what I'm saying is that what you have before and what you have after are pretty much the same.
You still got you.
You
if
still
if
have
if
you,
have
and
that
there you are.
awareness.
So let's just have a little fun with this. So there you are. You've died. You see your kids and your ex, your husband, and you say, "What the heck are they doing?" Nothing has changed. Okay, we love you. Come back next Wednesday. Like, love, share the fun of the show.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. It's great to have you
Oh,
with us.
and we have our network up.
The Healing Arts Network.
.org. HealingArtsNetwork.org. I put the link in the post. We'll tell you more about it another time. Until
There we
then,
go.
we love you. Thank you.
Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.